guys, I'm back with another video. I'm gonna have another weekly market analysis, and before we get into the video, let me show you guys the sheet. So if you didn't watch my last video, or if you're not in my Telegram chat, this is my weekly market analysis steps, all the steps that I go through on a weekly basis when I'm marking on my charts, if even on a daily basis, if I take all my markups off and I just put them back. So if you want to screenshot this, I also have it in my Telegram chat if you guys want to join that. As you can see, today we were anticipating this Bitcoin trade, and so far it's going pretty well. We're just waiting to see if we can get rejection in this area, but that's not the point of this video. So screenshot this if you didn't already, and let's get into this market analysis. Let's do it. So as said on the sheet, what do you always do? You always start on the higher time frame, and what do? You mark up the daily highs and the daily lows. And if you don't know why, it's because if you understand market structure and analysis, you understand that when a candle is bullish, the chance of the next candle being bullish is also higher. But in this case, we have to keep into consideration. Hold on, let me mark up. It's already marked up. We got to keep in consideration that we are at a time. Let me change this. I'm going to do that. Have this from when I was making my course. Yeah, we're going to keep in mind that we are at an order block on the daily time frame right now. Hence why this candle is losing momentum, and the momentum isn't as strong. So we got to keep that in the back of our mind. So when you mark up the order blocks, I always do it from the bodies of the last candle. You could even have it as this candle also. This candle up here, but I'm gonna have it as this just for the video's sake, and because it has confluence with this 14,000 level. So now that we have the daily high and low, we're anticipating the daily high to be broken. But at this point in time, matter of fact, I feel like this will make more sense. Since we're anticipating the daily high to be broken, we can anticipate price to keep coming just a little bit higher to this daily order block before possibly rejecting. So let's move down to the 4-hour time frame. So now that we understand that we want to see another push to the upside, what do? In this case, price is kind of hard to understand right now. Well, as you can see, we're breaking highs over on uptrend. So what would I do? In this case, I'm going to draw my fib from this 13,800 level, and I'm going to pull it up to the 14,000 level. Why? Because I trade with the banks, and I like to trade with these whole numbers, and when they're close like this, you could pull this fib from here, but it's not going to change much, honestly. So we're going to have these fibs. So now we know we have this fib drawn here, so we can anticipate once price goes higher to possibly retrace. Why? Because we know it's a daily order block. And let me go to daily time frame real quick and draw a fib from that order block and down. Because if we are anticipating price to keep falling, we want price. Actually, it's not even at the fib actually. So it's actually overbought if anything. So let's go back to this 4-hour. We're anticipating price to keep on pushing up. This markup's not even going to be that well because there's not much going on. We're just in this overall uptrend, but we're anticipating price to move up to this daily order block and then watch how price reacts. And we want to see a drop in this area. And if we start rejecting here, we can keep in mind that, let's go to the hour time frame. We're going to keep in mind we're in this uptrend. We could also keep in mind right here, this level is also right here. And if you do 50% of that level, is going to be somewhere right here. But I'm actually not liking the way this is looking right now. I'm not a fan of NAS. So honestly, I'm not going to mark this up. This is more or less you have to wait to see what's going to happen during the week, because we're just making highs right now, so we can't really anticipate nothing. So we're on to the next pair. The next pair is going to be GJ. So what do? We start on the daily time frame. Let me get rid of all these. These are from a previous video. We're going to go to daily time frame, and we're going to start to mark up the daily highs and daily lows. In this case, this was a bearish candle, so we can anticipate that the next candle is going to also be bearish. And why can we also do that? Because we are also looking that prices in this range, prices rejecting this 154 500 level. After this candle, we rejected, came down, rejected this order block right here, probably on a 4-hour, and we are pushing up. So let's go down to, matter of fact, before we do that, let's make sure we're watching this daily time frame. So here, let's pull our fib from the bottom of this level to the top. And as you can see, this is where price started to reject this level right here. And what is this level? This is a 79 level. And after we reject this level, we then started to close bullish and above 154 500. So actually, in this case, we could probably anticipate price to keep going higher, but it's all, we just gotta play it day by day. Hopefully, if this low doesn't get broken when the Sunday opens to Monday, then we can anticipate price to keep going up. But let's move on to the lower time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. And as you can see with this rejection and the momentum, that price is most likely going to keep going up, because after it rejected this level to the T, it then had a very strong bullish engulfing candle. It didn't break this high, but now it looks like it's coming for a retracement. And now if we pull a fib from this low to the high of this candle, what is price doing? Price is currently rejecting this 62% level, and then also rejected and closed above. So now we know we're in this clear uptrend. We know the daily low is right here. We're anticipating price to possibly go higher. I want to see these highs get broken to then take these highs out eventually. And now let's look for order blocks. So if you look right here also, the last down candle before this up move is right here. And what is this? This is a 4-hour bullish order block. So now we have multiple confirmations in this level. We have the overall 4-hour fib, and then now we have the daily fib, and then we have the 4-hour fib, all in confluence in this same area. So that's multiple confirmations that in this area we're looking for rejection. And also we're at the 154 500 level. So that's 4 confirmations in this area plus this rejection candle. When market opens, we'll probably see price drop a little bit, but overall I still want to see that push. And if price does start to fall lower, we can anticipate that prices down here will be liquidated. And then if you go, we'll just pull a fib from these levels. We'll do it from this 151 500 level, and we're gonna pull it to this 156 whole number level. And why can we expect price to come down lower? Because this is our overall fib, and if it starts breaking lows, that will also be another confirmation. But if you look in these areas, you can see that there's imbalances in the market. And if you don't know what an imbalance is, I have a video strictly for that, so I'm not going to explain that here. We have an imbalance there. We also have another imbalance in these areas down here. And these are all at the fib levels. So we can anticipate if price does come lower, if these lows are broken at all during this week, we can anticipate that price is more than likely going to come down and then try and fill these levels in during the week to then possibly keep that overall uptrend either towards the end of the week or later on next week. You never know. I don't really trade GJ like that. This is more of a markup for you guys. But overall, I want to see price hold above these levels. I don't want to see it go below this, because if we could stay above these levels, we will keep that overall uptrend. We could possibly come down lower, but I want to see price, if it comes down, to keep going up to then take these highs. And areas that we'll be able to target, if you look, the last up down candle before the move. And what is that? That is a bearish order block. And this is towards the highs also. And if you want to have even shorter targets, right here, there's another bearish order block. This is a bearish 4-hour order block. The last up candle before this down move that took out these lows. This is also a bigger order block, but we can have this as a refined level. And also, you could target this order block up here. These are all smaller order blocks. This isn't bearish. This is bearish, not bullish. You can anticipate price to try and reach for all these levels during the week, because you got to keep in mind, yes, we're in a short-term downtrend, so price could possibly come to these levels or these levels and then hold them. But overall, right now we're also in a even shorter term uptrend. So if we can keep this low and this becomes a higher low, we can anticipate a higher high to be made at possibly these levels up here. And this level is 155.573, and this level right here at 155.57. So you can also catch levels like this for overall retracement. And if you look, these levels also have confluence with a fib. But overall, you want to wait for price to get to these levels before looking for those rejection confirmations. But as of right now, I want to see price go higher for GJ. So on to the next pair, we have gold. So like every other pair, you start on the higher time frame. You mark up the daily highs and the daily lows. So in this case, we're in a downtrend. We're overall falling. We didn't break no lows. We broke a high, but overall, this is a strong bearish candle. And if you look at the last up candle before the down move, that's where we rejected before coming down. And if you probably pull a fib, is more than likely going to be rejected that area. Yes, it did. So this is on the daily time frame, keep in mind. So now we know that overall we're bearish. So now let's go to the 4 hour. And what is happening right now? You can see price is overall in this still downtrend. Let's put this here so we know the areas that we were looking at. We're overall in this downtrend. We fell, rejected this order block, rejected these fib levels. So what can we anticipate? If we're in this downtrend, we can anticipate price to possibly go higher. This is bearish, not bullish. We can anticipate if price wants to have a retracement now for these levels. And if you pull a fib from this top, the high that it was made, to now the low. It doesn't match it at this point in time, but we can anticipate price is more than likely going to, because if you look, we're still keeping this short-term uptrend right here. So if you see, we're keeping this low, respecting this low, respecting this. So now we can have a retracement, expecting to keep the short-term uptrend, but we're also in this downtrend also. So we can anticipate price to come to areas like this, possibly reject, because if you look, this is a daily order block, also a 4 hour order block, and is also a fib level. So you can anticipate price to come here to then possibly fall lower. In areas that you could look to target for reasons that this is going to go up, because if you look, there's an imbalance right here in the market. So you can anticipate price to come down and fill it. And if you pull the fib, actually now that I'm realizing, and if you look at the continuation level, it is right at this imbalance also. So if you want to look for continuation, you could possibly get a retracement to fill this imbalance and to reject this 38.20 level to then keep coming lower and target imbalances somewhere down here. We have one. These were filled, and if you look what's also close to these levels, we have the order block right here. This would be a 4 hour bullish order block, and we also have another one right under it right here. So these would be areas that you would want to be targeting overall this week, and these levels are, let's pull this, 1825. So 1825 is the area that we would be looking to target this week with gold. And if you go down to the hour time frame, it's overall in this very big range. And as you can see, these candles are losing momentum. They're gaining. The wicks are to the downside, and you can anticipate price is more than likely going to have a retracement at least. It could come higher, it might not, but just keep in mind that there's an imbalance right here on the higher time frame, and this is also in confluence with the 38.20% level. So if we want to keep this downtrend, we can have a retracement to possibly, what is this level up here, to 1886 before possibly watching for a retracement, because you're not just going to enter, you got to play it as time. You got to watch in these areas to see if there's rejection candles, to see how candles form, to then anticipate price to fall lower. But these are all based on higher time frame analysis, so that's what we can say. And let's move on to the next pair, and our next pair is going to be US 30. This is what I am mainly looking at. So I have the daily high and daily low already marked out. We're bearish, we're rejecting this 34,500 level. If you also keep in mind, just like NAS, we are rejecting this overall daily order block up here. and we've been rejecting it for the past week so far. I'm anticipating a drop, but as of right now, I am waiting. And if you look at right here, we have a daily order block that we're most likely going to be targeting this week, next week. But overall, you get the idea. These are overall areas that we're looking to target on the higher time frame. Because if you look, we're over. This is 34,000 level overall. We're in this uptrend, so we can respect these lows, and if we could get a retracement down to here, make a higher low to then keep pushing up, that's what we're anticipating right now. So let's move on to the 4-hour time frame. So let's take these off, because I like to have my US30 chart clean. The other charts I don't really it don't matter to me because I don't trade them consistently. So, okay, so look, so now we're anticipating the price to keep falling lower. So what are areas that we could look at to target? So if you see right here, these order blocks right here, what is near? You got to look around and everything near. You can see that there is an imbalance right here. So that's already 2 confirmations for this level as it is. Also, there's a 4-hour order block right here. I'm not going to draw this one, but you can see right here that there's a 4-hour order block at this level that you can anticipate price could possibly reach for right here. And if you do the 50% of this daily order block, I usually do the 50% when I try to refine areas of target. So the 50%, where would that be? 50% is right here. So we have an imbalance right here. This is a 4-hour order block, which I'm not going to have marked up. So now we have the 50% of this daily order block. I like to mark them up. Of the daily order block. So now these are areas that we could target. And it's at this 34,000 area, so that is a great area to target to possibly keep the uptrend during the week. But let's move up to where price is currently at right now. So now let's draw our fib from this 34,800 level all the way down to where price is currently at. So let's take this 50% off, because I only use the 50% when I'm refining my areas. These are what I'm looking for right now. If you look at this fib, you can see that these areas are our fib levels. So now let's look for imbalances in this area. So if you look at the last up candle before this down move, you can see that the order block would be up here, but I'm not going to draw it in this case because it doesn't match up with this right here. I want to have the areas marked up that have the most confluence and most confirmations to go with each other. So now, since we're in this range, we can anticipate prices more than likely to possibly have a retracement of some sort. So if you look right here, this is the area. This is an order block on the 4-hour time frame from the last up candle before this down move. This is a 4-hour bearish order block. In this case, this isn't very clean market structure because we didn't really have a great week, but this isn't very clean. But we can anticipate price to possibly come up, to possibly reject of some sort, to then come lower. In this case, market structure is in consolidation right now. It's not showing too much, but we're just gonna have to wait, just like NAS, to wait and see what price is likely to do. But areas that I want to see hit are around 34,612, possibly when the market opens, to keep going lower, because we've been ranging all week, and I'm expecting these lows, and these lows now to be taken out for price to eventually come to these areas here to keep this uptrend. So this is not really a clean market video. I'm just going with the trend. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I'm not seeing. This is all I'm seeing, and if I don't see any trades right now, then I don't see no trades. And as of right now, this markup isn't very clean. It's kind of choppy, but that's why we just gotta play day by day. We gotta wait for the week. We gotta get into the week and all that for price to actually show us what it's likely to do. So if you look right here on the 4-hour order block, if you pull the 50% of this, like I said, I pull the 50% when I want to look for areas of refinement. So this would be the 50%. We could take this fib off now. And where is this at? You can see that on the hour, we have a hour order block right here, and it also matches up with the 4-hour order block right here. So we're going to take that 4-hour order block, and we're only going to have this hour order block. Why? Because right here, I can just have 50% of the 4-hour order block, which would be a refined level. right there. So now we have a 50% of the 4-hour order block at this level. We have an hour order block, and there's also a fib up here. So we can anticipate price to possibly go higher, retrace during this week to see lower prices. But that's really it. I'm going to keep you guys updated on what I'm seeing during the week. But as of right now, things are choppy, so we're just going to have to play day by day. Okay guys, so I actually refined this even more. So I took off the daily order block just because I know overall I'm looking for a downtrend. I'm looking for a bearish momentum. So I took it off, moved down to the 4-hour time frame. And instead, I took my fib, I took it off of this level. So I drew my fib from the top level here. I'll mark it with this eclipse so you guys can see it. I marked it from there to this low. And if you look, go down to the hour time frame. If you look where we had this hour order block and the 50% of our 4-hour order block, it matches up with our fib now. So now we have multiple confirmations in this area to watch for price to potentially have this drop. I took the time after the video to try to refine it even more because, like I said, it's choppy. So I'm trying to look for the cleanest setups possible. So now I can see that areas such as 34,620 are going to be good areas to look for a rejection in. And if you also look right here, we have the hour bearish, what is it? Hour bearish order block. I couldn't think of the name. So we have a lot of confirmation in this area to watch for. 34,620 is the area we are looking for a drop at. So we're anticipating price to come up and then possibly have this drop to see lower prices during the week.